Onto a developing story now, with Cold War-like tensions rising between Russia and the West, with Syria at the focal point. Russia has announced plans to establish a permanent naval facility in the Syrian port of Tartus, amid fears that Syria will be the tinderbox that quick starts another global conflict. The Syrian government has launched another push to regain the rebel-held city of Aleppo.
According to international media reports, Syria's military backed by Russian warplanes had killed more than 150 people in eastern Aleppo this week in support of its offensive against the city. Rising casualties in Aleppo, where many buildings have been reduced to rubble or are lacking roofs or walls, have prompted an international outcry and a renewed diplomatic push, with talks between the United States and Russia planned for Saturday.
I want to underline that Russian aviation are delivering pinpoint strikes at previously determined targets outside the city of Aleppo and outside residential areas. Any targets in the list located in residential zones, near schools, hospitals, markets, mosques and other important social facilities where there could be civilians are excluded.
As
tensions between the West and Russia continues to rise over the Syrian conflict, in the latest development, the Russian Foreign Ministry announced that it was the Obama administration that has destroyed relations between both countries. They even said that they hope for better relations with whoever is elected to office after November.
Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, speaking to the media, has said that Syria's civil war had become a conflict between Russia and the West.
Say what we have now, what we've been seeing recently during the last few weeks and maybe few months, is something like a more than Cold War, less than war, a full-blown war. I don't know what to call it, but it's not something that has existed recently, because I don't think that the West, and especially the United States, has stopped their Cold War even after the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Meanwhile, President Vladimir Putin has stated that US election candidates are using Russia to gain political mileage.
We are also concerned about the worsening of relations between Russia and the US. This is not our choice. We have never aspired to this. Quite the opposite. We want friendly relations. About a decade ago, they wouldn't mention Russia at all. They would say it's not even worth talking about Russia because it is such a third-rate regional power and not interesting at all. Now Russia is problem number one in the entire election campaign. All they do is keep talking about us. Of course, it's pleasant for us, but only partly. Why partly? Because all participants of this process are misusing anti-Russian rhetoric and poisoning our bilateral relations. This isn't good, both for our country and the whole international community.
Bringing you the latest developments from Moscow, Russia, I'm Zulfikar Khan for Newsfirst.